Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Narayanam Guru Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanu Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyambu Rupamanjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Bandhavam Yugacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuise Namaha. Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismera Hasara Murali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vrindai Tulasi Devi Ai Priyai Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all I begin offer my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradatama Shri Guru Pada Padma Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramhamsa Parivrajaka Ashtotara Sata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudeva. And to my most worshipable Shikshan Sannyasa Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramhamsa Parivrajaka Ashtotara Sata Srimad Srila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj. And to all Shri Rupananda Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So we continue with the verse 13. Pranatakam madam padamajarchitam dharani mandanam dheyamapadi charana pankajam shantamam chate ramana nastane shwapayadiham. O dear most beloved, O destroyer of all sorrow, your lotus feet, which fulfill all desires of your surrendered devotees, are worshipped by Brahma, who was born from the lotus, and they are now the ornament that embellishes the earth. When meditated upon, they remove all calamity, and when accepting service, they bestow supreme bliss. Kindly place such lotus feet upon our breasts. In the previous verse, the gopis, they were concerned about how Krishna, he should not walk in the very sharp ground of Vrindavan, also glorifying Krishna's lotus feet. So again, in this verse, they glorify Krishna's lotus feet, and they request Krishna to please put them upon their breasts. And what is the meaning of putting them upon their breasts? That we have to understand. It means to put it on top of their hearts. So heart stays in everyone's chest. And ladies, they have breasts. So when gopis say put on our breast, it means put on our heart, on top of our heart. That is the actual meaning of the gopis' desire. So let us see the Bhava Prakashika Vritti commentary of Srila Gurudev. The words pranata kamadam have two meanings here. You immediately fulfill all the desires of those surrendered, means pranat, unto you. And you bestow nothing less than kama in the hearts of those surrendered unto you. So, pranata kamadam means you fulfill the desires or you actually give desires. These are the two meanings here. Kama is the superlative expression of Krishna's mercy. Here, kama means prema, transcendental love, the exalted love of the gopis, kamatmika bhakti. Srila Gurudeva, he puts a footnote about kamatmika bhakti. Kamatmika bhakti and kamanuga bhakti means one can attain one's inherent constitutional nature in unalloyed prema by developing the moods of either the gopis, kamatmika, or the love of Krishna parents, friends, and servants, called sambandhatmika. Both these moods are the shelter of Krishna's eternally perfect associates. A kamanuga bhakta is one who has agreed to follow in the wake of kamatmika bhakti. Okay, this is from Jaiva Dharma, chapter 21. So, those who have kama for Krishna, they're called kamatmika. And those who want to follow in their footsteps, they're called kamanuga. Okay? And then sambandhatmika are all the rasas apart from Madhurya, including Vatsalya, Sakya, Dasya, and Shanta. They're all sambandhatmika. Okay? And those who want to follow them, it will be called sambandhanuga. Same as ragatmika and raganuga. Same type of grammar construction. Okay? So continue with the text. If one approaches Sri Krishna under the guidance of a kamatmika bhakta, Krishna gives him kamanuga bhakti. Padmajarchitam dharani mandanam. Padmajarchitam means worshipped by Brahma, and dharani mandanam means ornament of the earth. Both these words are adjectives describing Shri Krishna's lotus feet, charana pankajam. Your lotus feet, which are the ornaments of the earth, are always worshipped by Brahma. Here the gopis say, just as your lotus feet are the ornaments of the earth's heart, they're also the ornament of our hearts. So that's explaining what I said in the beginning. They want to put Krishna's feet on their breasts to decorate, to become an ornament of their heart. Just like Krishna is stepping on the earth, on Prithvi. Then the gopis, they will also request in the same way. You have become, your lotus feet have become the ornament of the earth's heart. So please also make that in our heart. Next one is Dhyayam Apadi. Apadi means at times of distress. If anyone remembers Krishna's lotus feet, he or she becomes free from all varieties of obstacles, miseries, and calamities. An instance of this is Krishna's appearance before the gopis when they completed their singing of Gopi-gita. At that time, a gopi came to him and placed both of his hands in hers. Another gopi placed his arms on her shoulders. Another came to him with tambula, betika, in her hands. And another placed his lotus feet on her breasts. Another gopi was in such an angry mood that from a distance she stared at him from the corners of her eyes, biting her lips, that the Gopi wanted to give him pain by shooting him with the arrows of her eyes. Another Gopi looked towards him as if she wanted to take him into her heart. Another Gopi immediately took him through her eyes into her heart, where she embraced him tightly, thinking herself to be alone with him in a solitary place. Simply by her absorption in him, that Gopi became so full of spiritual pleasure that her hair stood on end in ecstasy, and all her miseries at once disappeared. The Gopis do not feel material miseries. So what is their misery? The only calamity they face is separation from Krishna. And that pain of separation disappears only when they meet with him. There is one comparison we can make here, is that Krishna, he puts the Badajivas in this material world for some reasons, and one of the reasons is that Krishna, he to express his quality of Patit Pavan or Parama Karuna, he must have fallen souls in order to deliver them and rescue them and give them mercy. So if there will be no fallen souls in the material world, suffering jivas, then how Krishna can save them? How Krishna can become Patit Pavana and supremely merciful? It's not possible. So he has to give some type of pain to the Badajivas in order to remove that pain again. So in same way, they are giving some pain to gopis when he's separating from them. But in order to give them a relief of removing that pain, again, he appears to them. To some extent, we can compare these things because Krishna, he has no option in the sense that nothing can be like perfect ideal, even for him. What to speak of us and the gopis? So in this way, if we want to become Krishna's servant, we have to accept the pain Krishna is giving to us as a matter of happiness for him. This is giving pleasure to him because he's going to do something. So that is purposefully. So this is a very, very important understanding. So if Krishna is happy by not giving darshan, oh, I am also happy with that because he's happy with that. So although we suffer, although the gopis, they suffer, we suffer in different way. But still, this is a type of suffering. To some extent, we can say like that. Because gopis, they want to see Krishna. But why they want to see Krishna? For his pleasure. But we Badajivas, we want to see Krishna for our redemption, for our pleasure. Because whatever is there in the spiritual world is a perverted reflection in this material world. So we can make this type of comparison as well. Okay? So simply by her absorption in him, that Gopi became so full of spiritual pleasure that her hair stood on end in ecstasy, and all her miseries at once disappeared. The gopis do not feel material miseries. So what is their misery? The only calamity they face is separation from Krishna. And that pain of separation disappears only when they meet with him. So same way, Badajivas, they will always only remove their pain when they will meet with Krishna. They pray in this verse of Gopi-gita, O Ramana, delightful beloved, please place your lotus feet on our hearts so that our suffering separation from you and our disease of kama will cease. Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur has revealed the words of Krishna and the gopis in the previous verse. You always give us miseries and calamities, the gopis said. Whether we are meeting with you or we are apart. Why do you need me then? Krishna replied. You should leave me and remain far away. Do not come to me again and do not call me. Thrown into anxiety by hearing this, the gopis thought, now we have made Krishna angry. So they now try to appease him, speaking this 13th verse in order to pacify his sulky mood. So now Krishna has gone into man. Krishna, he became tired of so much complaint from the gopis. Already 12 verses, mostly complaining, although glorifying, but mostly complaining. So now Krishna becomes sulky. Now gopis, they have to change. Strategy is not going so well. Now they have to divert. So now in this 13th verse, they start glorifying Krishna in a very humble way, you know. Shantamang chate. One meaning is always pleasing. The gopis say, you are always pleasing to us. It is true that those sharp words came out of our mouths, but we really did not mean what we said. It was a mere slip of the tongue. We need you, only you, and no one else. So now they become very humble, very submissive. So they came from Dakshin to, they came from Bhamya Bhav to Dakshina Bhav. From contrary to submissive. Next line, Pranata Kamadam. Here they say, you fulfill every desire of your surrendered souls. Even if an offender surrenders to you, you do not neglect him. Rather, you forgive him. In fact, you not only forgive him, you benedict him. Krishna's pastimes of subduing the serpent Kaliya is an example of this. Kaliya was opposed to both the Supreme Lord and his bird carrier, the great devotee Garuda. He was also angry with his wives because they had told him, do not oppose Krishna. So when Krishna jumped into the Yamuna river to fight with him, he bit Krishna on all the tender parts of his body, in which the vital organs are located, including his heart. Normally, a person who is bitten in those places would die. Kaliya was saved only by the intervention of his wives. When they first saw Krishna fighting with him, his wives remained silent. They did not pray that Krishna bestow his mercy upon him because they consider him foolish. It means they wanted Krishna to kill Kaliya. However, when Krishna jumped upon his hoods and began to crush them one by one, they perceived a change in his mind and heart. As Kaliya began to vomit blood, he thought, this boy is more powerful than Garuda. I managed to escape from Garuda and flee, but I cannot do that now, and I am about to die. I never imagined that anyone could have such power. Now I realize that the words of my wives were true. He is not any ordinary person. Perhaps he is God himself. That may be why he is so powerful. However, whoever he is, whether he is God or someone else, he is invincible. At this point, Kaliya submitted to Shri Krishna. Now I am surrendered to you. Kaliya's wives had previously thought, we do not want to have a husband who is brutal and opposed to Krishna. He should die. When he became somewhat submissive, however, they became pleased. Krishna had placed his feet on Kaliya's hoods, so a change of heart was inevitable for him. When that change took place, it happened suddenly, and Kaliya's wives immediately began to pray. Now that he has become your devotee and is praying for you to be merciful, please bestow your mercy upon him. We no longer want him. No longer want to be made widows. So Srila Gurudeva explains that it wasn't favorable for the Nagapatinis to become widow because they would become like like a prey for others, snakes. They could suffer attacks, or they could become like, they could be like kidnapped by any type of other snake and force them like into sex slaves or anything like that. So that would disturb their bhajan, because they were devotees, real devotees. So in order to protect them, Krishna actually kept Kaliya, because Kaliya now he was means humble, and he was going to cooperate. Therefore, it was better to keep him as husband of the Nagapatnis in order to protect them. So initially, Krishna did not listen to the serpent's pleas, even though Kaliya had surrendered to him. But when the wives of Kaliya began offering their prayers, Krishna listened. Kaliya has surrendered to me, he considered, so I must bestow my mercy upon him. He told Kaliya, I cannot allow you to stay here, as all the Brajavasis are afraid of you. I know that you will not bite them or cause them any difficulty, because you are now a devotee. Still, it is best that you leave. Go at once to Ramanaka Dvipa. Some say this is a Fiji island, this Ramanaka Dvipa. I think Srila Gurudeva mentioned something, or Srila Prabhupada, I'm not sure, but that's what we hear sometimes. So Kaliya accepted this instruction, and Krishna assured him, my footprints will always remain on your hoods. And because of that, Garuda will now be on friendly terms with you. Kaliya then left the Yamuna and Braj, carrying Shri Krishna's footprints on his head and meditating upon them. This pastime shows that even if an offender comes to Krishna and begs for mercy, Krishna will forgive him and bestow his mercy. Next is Padmajar Chitam. Padmajar refers to Brahma, who had previously committed many offenses against Shri Krishna. He had given boons to Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, and other demons. And by such boons, those demons became powerful and fought with Krishna and his incarnations like Shri Ramachandra. When Krishna killed the demon Aghasur, Brahma saw that a light as brilliant as lightning burst out of Aghasur's head and remained in the sky. Then, as Krishna and his cowherd friends and calves came out of the demon's stomach, that light entered Krishna's lotus feet. Brahma understood that this cowherd boy was none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He then desired to see more of the Lord's pastimes, but he wanted his own power to be the cause of initiating them. He thought, I will see what happens when I cover Krishna's power with my deluding potency Maya. So he kidnapped the calves and cowherd boys and took them to a cave, where he waited to see what Krishna would do. He then left for his planet Satyaloka for what was just a moment of time on that planet, but an entire year according to the time scale on earth. When he returned, however, he saw that Krishna was playing with the calves and the cowherd boys just as before. Who are these calves and boys? Brahma asked himself. I have just put them in a cave. With the 4 eyes on 2 of his heads, he looked forward to the cave. And with his other 4 eyes, he looked behind him to Krishna. Now he could see both sets of calves and cowherd boys at the same time, and he could not decide which one was real. Finally, he understood, this is not the work of my Maya, it is Krishna's Maya. At that point, he shut his eyes, fell flat on the earth, and wept. When he opened his eyes, he no longer saw any calves or boys. He saw Krishna only, and he saw that each of the calves and boys, with their flutes and other paraphernalia, now appeared as Krishna in his four-armed feature of Lord Narayan. Why did he see Krishna in this form? His worshipful Lord is Garbhodakashai Vishnu, an expansion of Narayana, who is an expansion of Krishna, not the original Supreme Lord, Brajendra Nandan Shamasundara of Braj. Brahma now exclaimed, "Oh, he is my worshipful deity." He closed his eyes again, and when he opened them, he saw Krishna alone, looking exactly as he looked before, wearing the same garments. Krishna was holding some rice and yogurt in his hand, anxiously searching for his calves and friends. He looked as if he had no idea of what was going on. In this way, Brahma had been an offender at Krishna's lotus feet. He had given difficulties to the Lord and also to the Lord's cows and calves, and he had committed many other offenses as well. Now realizing this, he fell at Krishna's lotus feet and offered many prayers. These prayers are recorded in the 14th chapter of Canto 10 of Srimad Bhagavatam. The verse says, Tadastu menata saburi bago, bhavetra vanyatra tuva chirascham, yanaham ekopi bhavad jananam, bhutwani sheveta vapad palavam. It's Bhagavatam 10, 14, 30. It says, "My Lord, I therefore pray to be so fortunate that in this life as Lord Brahma, or in another life, wherever I take my birth, I may be counted as one of your devotees. I pray that wherever I may be, even among the animal species, I can engage in devotional service to your lotus feet." Next verse is the 34 of same chapter. Tadburi bhagyam iha janma kimapi yatavyam, yad gokulepi kata mangri rajo bishekam, yad jivitam tu nikilang bhagavam mukundas, tadyapi yat padaraja shruttimrigyam eva. My greatest possible good fortune would be to take any birth whatsoever in this forest of Gokul and have my head bathed by the dust falling from the lotus feet of any of its residents. Their entire life and soul is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mukunda, the dust of whose lotus feet is still being searched for in Vedic mantras. So here Brahma, he takes the right position. It means not only worshipping Krishna, but especially worshipping the servants of Krishna. So now Brahma is taking the position of a dasa, dasa, and udasa. That is very favorable for him, very much favorable. That pleases Krishna more than if he's only willing to serve Krishna directly. It's a very beautiful verse, this one. Especially this Kadamangri Rajo Bishekam means being bathed by the feet dust of all the residents of Vrindavan. This is very beautiful. So Brahma prayed, "You are the Supreme Lord of all those who are supreme. No one can count your glorious qualities. Someone may be able to count the particles of dust on the earth or the tiny particles of fog, but no one can count your glory, your glorious qualities." Who can count tiny particles of fog? Baladev Prabhu can count them. Nityananda Prabhu can also count them. But even they cannot count Shri Krishna's glories. Baladeva himself failed to understand the real significance of this pastime. When Krishna expanded himself to become all the calves and cowherd boys, Baladeva was not aware of what had happened, and he remained unaware for an entire year. Even after he learned what had taken place, he was able to understand it only by Krishna's mercy. So just remember that in that very day, when the calves and friends were stolen, kidnapped, that was Baladev's birthday. Therefore, he didn't go for cow grazing at that time. So therefore, for him, it was as if nothing had happened. Hmm. Baladev Prabhu cannot enter the arena of the rasa dance in a male form, and he is not aware of how Shri Krishna sports and dances with the gopis. Because he has a very strong desire to enter the pastimes of Madhurya Rasa, he has another form as a Nangamanjari to taste that mellow. In this way, the gopis say that both Kaliya and Brahma were offenders at Krishna's lotus feet. But Krishna bestowed his mercy upon them when they came to him and surrendered. So now the gopis also want that Krishna gives them mercy. Now they are somehow surrendering to Krishna. They say, okay, do as you like, do as you please. So next one is Dharani Mandanam. Mandanam refers to the decorations that enhance one's beauty. For example, our tilaka is Mandanam. We adorn our bodies with ornaments called abharana and decorations, Mandanam. There is also that song that we, Abharana Mandanam. I think this is in the Romani Shiromani song. We quote these two words also. Neck beads and rings are ornaments because they are not attached to the body. Whereas decorations made with unguents are directly attached to the body. So the distinction means ornaments are like objects which you link to your body. Decoration means a type of paint or paste or powder which will be attached. It's not like an object. You like draw something, you know, or put color or put some type of you know, shining things like kajal, anything like that. This is called mandanam, decorations. The gopis decorate their cheeks with pictures of Makari, the female Makara. Makara means crocodile, but in this connection, it refers to a particular type of sea creature. It cannot refer to a crocodile because crocodiles are very dangerous, and dangerous things cannot enter Krishna Lila. Kamadeva is celebrated for riding on a Makara, and his flag also bears the emblem of a Makara. The Makara is always associated with amorous love. So it is a type of fish which is a type of like aphrodisiac, you know. In Brazil, we have some similar things in the sea and rivers, and by the popular legend, they have this type of power, this type of fish, and they have very long beak like this, very long mouth, same as it is being drawn in this Kamadeva's like vehicle, you know. So somehow the reflection of the original Makara is still present somehow in this planet. It's very close to the dolphin, okay? Just to give you some idea, is like the family of dolphin, and but it has more prominent mouth like. Dolphin has some small, but this one has more prominent, and teeth are also very sharp, little more sharper than dolphins teeth. The gopis tell Krishna, your feet are the ornament of the earth. When they use the word earth here, they do not refer to the earth on which we tread. Rather, they refer to the personification of this earth planet, means Dharani Devi or Bhudevi, who always keeps Shri Krishna's lotus feet as an ornament on her breast. The gopis' inner meaning is this: your lotus feet are an ornament for Bhudevi's breasts. So why you not make them an ornament for ours as well? Dharani Mandanam has yet another meaning here. The gopis think that their breasts should be the ornaments of Krishna's feet. To please him, they want all the parts of their bodies to be the ornaments of his feet, hands, and the entire body. He looks most beautiful when he is with the gopis. When they are not with him, he cannot manifest his supreme splendor. In this way, both meanings are given. They want him to be the ornament of their breasts, and they want to be the ornament of his lotus feet. It also remembers the last verse when the Gurudev explained that all black things enhances one's beauty. Like Krishna's curly black hair, when it's partially covering his face, enhances Krishna's beauty. And the dot, the black dot of the eye, also enhances the beauty of the eye. So in the same way, when Krishna is amidst of the gopis, he is like the black dot, enhancing gopis' beauty. So in this way, ornaments, they also are making everyone even more beautiful. Because it complements the design of the face, complements the design of the body. Sometimes it fills some gaps that people may have in their bodies, and then the result is that the beauty is enhanced. So now they continue. If anyone remembers your lotus feet, all his miseries disappear. What is the evidence of this? When Gargacharya described your horoscope, he told your mother and father, in order to increase the transcendental bliss of the cowherd man of Gokula, this child will always act auspiciously for you. Only by his grace you surpass all difficulties. Gargacharya is renowned as a knower of past, present, and future. And he has said that if someone takes shelter of you and remembers your lotus feet, all inauspiciousness leaves him at once. But we are experiencing so much anguish, and we are in a calamity that is worse than any other. Please, remove this agony. We are not satisfied by simply remembering you. We must keep your lotus feet on our heads or on our bodies. That means you will have to meet with us. If we were to place all the miseries of the world, including suffering in hell, on one side of a scale, and the gopis' feelings of separation on the other, we would see that the misery in the gopis' hearts is far greater. They tell Krishna, our intolerable distress can only be relieved if our hearts are touched by your lotus feet. That will be the source of all happiness for us. Santamam chate. It will give us unfathomable bliss. So next one is Arpayadiham. We are lucky because this chapter is just about to finish. So we can finish all on time. So next one is Arpayadiham. Adi means miseries, and Han means one who removes. Arpaya Adiham refers to one who removes all kinds of miseries, diseases, and everything inauspicious. Because the gopis' misery is their kama. Their prayer is this. The kama that lives in our hearts can be removed by you, like magic. If you place your lotus feet on our hearts, all our torment will cease. You will not feel any inconvenience or discomfort by doing this. On the contrary, it will be very easy and pleasing for you. It will make you happy because you are our beloved. Oh, beloved, please listen to our prayer and become pleased to perform pastimes with us here. So now gopis are very sweet with Krishna, calling him beloved, trying to, cultivate his mood for, pastimes, etc. Generally, Shantama means happiness, but it also means all auspiciousness. If a devotee performs sadhana bhakti, he will be relieved of all varieties of inauspiciousness. Means aprarabdha, the accumulated stock of sins that are lying in a dormant condition. It has not yet manifested. 2. Kutta means the sins that are tending towards producing seeds, which means that they are beginning to take shape as sinful desires. 3rd, bija, seeds that are already established as a sinful desires, means the desires to commit sinful activities, which are situated within the heart of the living entity, are called papa bija, or seeds of sins. 4th, prarabdha, the fructified sins. And 5th, avidya, ignorance or illusion. Here Srila Gurudeva, he puts a footnote for avidya. He says, avidya means spiritual ignorance, illusion. Ignorance is of 4 kinds. To mistake that which is impermanent to be permanent, that which is full of misery to be blissful, that which is impure to be pure, and that which is not the self to be the self. Avidya is one of the 5 types of miseries destroyed by bhakti. There are 4 stages of reactions to sinful activities. Sinful reactions may be experienced in this life. They may be dormant until future lives. The reactions may be in a seed-like state as desires, or the tendency to become seeds of desires. In any case, all type of sinful reactions are vanquished one after another if a person engages in the devotional service of Lord Vishnu. So this is a quote from Padma Purana. So why are all our miseries not leaving us? The Gopi is asking. It is because we have not fully surrendered. Sorry, not Gopi is asking. Means Gurudev is asking on behalf of us. The miseries of sincere devotees surely disappear. But Krishna thinks, in order to have prema for me, they must continue their practice of bhakti. The results of their past karma have already been nullified, so they are no longer subject to birth and death. It means they have achieved liberation. But if they do not take birth, how will they be able to practice bhakti and achieve prema? It will not be possible for such devotees to go to Braj, because one cannot go there unless one's heart is imbued with Krishna prema. Shri Krishna thus creates circumstances by which such devotees can take birth and continue their practices of sadhana bhakti. It means Krishna is like lending to you a package of karma so that you can take birth again. So Gurudeva he explains like this in the different books. Krishna give you some karma, but that karma is not a real karma. It's just to make you take birth again so that you can continue your sadhana bhakti. Because you're already liberated. Before you achieve Krishna prema, liberation comes, moksha comes very easily. So in this way, devotees, they have to continue taking birth by Krishna's arrangement. When one sincerely chants Harinam and hears Krishna's pastimes, all his karma is destroyed. Such devotees have no more prarabdha karma, no material body, and no place in the material world. So how will they practice bhakti? Bearing this in mind, Krishna mercifully makes an arrangement so that they may come to this world, accept the material body, and attain association of a pure devotee. This is essential. In such association, they can then advance through the stages of Nishta, Ruchi, Shakti, and Bhava, and then attain Prema. As mentioned above, in order to have this association, one must take birth, but one will certainly not take birth if one's prarabdha karma and aprarabdha karma have all been washed away. Thus, there are some people in this world who have no sinful or pious reactions to taste, whose hearts bear some impressions as a result of their past association with a pure devotee, and who have chanted a Nama Abhasa of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It is by Krishna's mercy that such devotees taste the happiness and distress, which is similar to that of prarabdha karma. Why must there be both happiness and distress? Now this is a good question. The devotee already crossed everything. Krishna is keeping him in the material world for sadhana. Why not give him only happiness? Why must give distress as well? So the answer is, if there is no distress, there can be no sentiment of separation from Krishna. Without separation, the devotee cannot practice chanting Harinam, Hare Krishna, while weeping and shedding tears. Without this mood, the holy name will not be the pure name, Shuddhanama. One should certainly try to chant in this way, but simply trying will not suffice. This is why Krishna gives the devotees suffering, so that they will chant Harinam with tears and deep feeling in their heart. Oh Krishna, save us, save us. So this is the end of the 13th verse of Sri Gopi-gita. It's interesting to note that sometimes devotees think that they should only cry for Krishna. But crying for Krishna means crying for Krishna's mercy because our material problems. Sometimes devotees, they mistake the meaning of this sentence, crying for Krishna. And they ask me even, oh, how can I cry for Krishna? I only cry for myself. No, that's what is being told. You should face the distresses of life, feel separation from Krishna, feel that in this material world you cannot have any happiness because Krishna is not here, then you cannot serve him, and you only have so much problems around you, and then you should cry for that, asking for Krishna's mercy. So this material suffering is the cause of this crying. He is very clear, Gurudev is explaining. It's not that you're going to cry for Krishna in some type of ecstatic mood. No, this is in a different stage. This is a different thing. What Gurudev wants us to get that, in order to get to Shuddhanama, Namabhasa and Shuddhanama, is that when we are chanting, we should cry for Krishna's mercy due to all our material sufferings. Means, so Krishna, why I'm here suffering? I just want to be with you. I just want to serve you. I cannot tolerate being in this material world full of suffering and no happiness at all, because for devotees the only happiness is serving Krishna. So this is the explanation of this last paragraph here, and this is very beautiful. This verse 13 is very, very meaningful for us Badajivas. Very, very meaningful. So okay, then we will continue next time. Hare Krishna.